I walked into that restaurant to surprise my wife on our anniversary and found her laughing with another man instead. Let me back up. That morning, Emma texted me while I was in a meeting. Babe, I'm so sorry. Boss just dumped a massive project on my desk. I have to stay late tonight. Rain check on dinner? 10 years together. 10 years of anniversaries. And this was the first time she'd ever canceled. I stared at that message for a long time. Part of me wanted to be understanding. She's been working hard. Promotion coming up. I get it. But another part of me, the part one didn't want to listen to, felt something twist in my gut. So I did what any hopeful husband would do. I decided to surprise her anyway. I left work early, stopped by her favorite florist, picked up a bouquet of white lilies, her favorite. Then I made a reservation at Marcello's, the Italian place where I proposed to her 7 years ago. Same table by the window, if they had it. The plan was simple. Show up at her office around 7 with the flowers, tell her the project could wait one night, and whisk her away for the evening she deserved. I felt good about it. Romantic, even, like I was doing something right for once. I pulled into her office parking lot at 6:45. Her car wasn't there. I sat in my truck for a minute, confused. Called her cell, straight to voicemail. Maybe she went to grab coffee. Maybe the boss sent her to a different location. Maybe I stopped myself. I was making excuses, and I didn't even know why. That's when I remembered. Marcello's. We talked about going back there just last week. She said she missed their tiramisu. I don't know what made me drive there. Instinct, maybe, or fear disguised as hope. I walked in at 7:03. The hostess smiled. Reservation? Just looking for someone, I said. And then I saw her. Back corner. Candlelit table. She was wearing the black dress. The one I bought her last Christmas. The one she said was too nice for a regular night out. Her hair was down. She was laughing. Head tilted back. Hand cover her mouth the way she does when something really gets her. Across from her sat a man I'd never seen before. Tall. Dark hair. Fitted suit. He was leaning forward, elbows on the table, smiling at her like she was the only person in the room. I stood frozen near the entrance, half hidden behind a decorative column. They were sharing dessert. Tiramisu. 2 forks. She reached across the table and touched his hand. Not a brush. Not an accident. She rested her fingers on top of his, and he turned his hand over to hold hers. My chest went tight. My vision narrowed. I pulled out my phone. My hands were shaking, but I managed to open the camera, zoomed in, took the shot. The photo was clear. Too clear. Her face. His face. Their hands. I don't know how long I stood there. Could have been 10 seconds. Could have been 10 minutes. The hostess asked if I was okay. I nodded, turned, and walked out. I sat in my truck in the parking lot, staring at the steering wheel. I kept waiting for my brain to catch up, to make sense of what I'd just seen. But all I could see was her smile, the way she looked at him. I started the engine, drove home on autopilot. I don't remember the route. I don't remember stopping at red lights. When I got home, the house was dark, empty. I sat on the couch in the living room with the lights off, the flowers still in my hand. I opened my phone, looked at the photo again, zoomed in on her face. She looked happy, relaxed, beautiful. I felt sick. My phone buzzed. A text from her. Sorry, honey. Boss is keeping me late. Don't wait up. Love you. I stared at those words. Read them 3 times. Then I looked at the photo I'd taken 20 minutes ago. She was lying. I didn't answer her calls that night. And for the first time in 10 years, I slept in the guest room. She came home at 10:47. I heard her car pull into the driveway, heard the garage door open, heard her heels click across the kitchen floor. I was sitting in the living room, lights off, phone face down on the coffee table. Babe. Her voice echoed through the house. You still up? I didn't answer. She found me 30 seconds later, flipped on the light. I didn't look at her. Hey, she said, dropping her purse on the chair. Sorry I'm so late. That project turned into a nightmare. I stood up, walked past her toward the hallway. Wait, what's wrong? I stopped, didn't turn around. Nothing, I said. I'm tired. Good night. Babe, talk to me. What's going on? I kept walking. Grabbed a pillow from our bedroom closet. Headed to the guest room. She followed me. Are you seriously not going to tell me what's wrong? I closed the guest room door. Locked it. She knocked. Called my name. Knocked again. I lay down on the bed and stared at the ceiling. Eventually, she stopped. The next morning, I left before she woke up. Didn't leave a note. Didn't make coffee. Just got dressed and drove to work in silence. My phone started buzzing at 7:15. Emma missed call. I declined it. Emma missed call. Declined. Text from Emma. Please talk to me. I don't understand what I did. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. At work, I couldn't focus. My manager asked if I was feeling okay. I told him I was fine. He didn't believe me, but he didn't push. By lunch, I had 17 missed calls, 23 texts. I didn't read any of them. I sat in my car during my break, staring at my phone. Part of me wanted to call her, wanted to scream, wanted to demand answers. But another part of me, the part that was thinking clearly for the first time in years, knew that silence was more powerful than anything I could say. She was panicking. Good. Let her panic. At 2:30, my desk phone rang. Internal line. Reception. Hey, there's someone here to see you, the receptionist said, her voice awkward. Your wife. My stomach dropped. Tell her I'm in a meeting. I did. She says she'll wait. I closed my eyes, took a breath. I'll be right there. I walked to the lobby. She was standing near the front desk, arms crossed, mascara smudged. She'd been crying. The receptionist pretended to look busy. Emma saw me and rushed over. Finally, I've been calling you all day. Why aren't you answering? I kept my voice calm. Flat. I've been busy. Busy? You've never ignored me like this. What's going on? I glanced at the receptionist, at the security guard by the door, at the co-worker walking past with a cup of coffee. Not here, I said. Then where? You won't talk to me at home. You won't answer your phone. What am I supposed to do? I looked at her, really looked at her. She was wearing jeans and a sweatshirt. No makeup except whatever was left from last night. Hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. She looked desperate. She should be. I saw you last night, I said quietly, at the restaurant. Her face went white. For a moment, she didn't move, didn't breathe, just stared at me like I'd slapped her. What? She whispered. Marcelo's back corner table. You were wearing the black dress, sharing dessert with someone who definitely wasn't your boss. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. I can explain. I held up my hand. Not here. Not now. My voice was steady. Cold. Go home. Please, just let me. Go home, Emma. She reached for my arm. I stepped back. We'll talk later, I said. But not here. Not like this. Her eyes filled with tears. I didn't. It's not what you think. I turned and walked back toward my office. She called after me. Please, just listen to me. I kept walking. Behind me, I heard her break. A sob, a shaky breath. I didn't look back. When I got to my desk, my hands were shaking. I sat down, stared at my computer screen. My co-worker in the next cubicle leaned over. You good, man? I nodded. Yeah, I'm good. But I wasn't. For the first time since I saw her last night, something inside me shifted. The confusion was gone. The disbelief was gone. What replaced it was colder, sharper, determination. I didn't just want answers anymore. I wanted the truth. All of it. When I got home that evening, my 14-year-old daughter was waiting for me at the kitchen table, and she looked terrified. Emma's car was in the driveway. Good. I wasn't ready to face her yet. I dropped my keys on the counter. Hey, Lily, where's your mom? She didn't answer right away. Just sat there, hands folded in her lap, staring at the table. Lily, she looked up at me, and I saw it immediately. Red eyes, puffy cheeks, She'd been crying. I was beside her in 2 steps. "What's wrong? What happened?" "Dad," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I need to tell you something. About Mom." My blood went cold. I pulled out the chair next to her and sat down. "Okay, I'm listening." She took a shaky breath, wiped her eyes with her sleeve. "I've been covering for her." "Covering for her? What do you mean?" "The late nights, the weekend errands, the time she said she was at work." Lily's voice cracked. "She's been meeting someone, Dad. A man." I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. "How long have you known?" "Months," she whispered. "Maybe longer." I didn't know what to do. She made me promise not to tell you. I clenched my jaw, forced myself to stay calm. "What did she tell you?" "That he was just a friend, someone from college, that they were catching up." Lily looked at me, tears streaming down her face. But I knew it wasn't just that. I could tell. "How could you tell?" She hesitated, reached into her pocket, and pulled out her phone. "I saw a text on her phone a few weeks ago. By accident. She left it on the counter while she was in the shower." Lily's hands were shaking as she unlocked her screen. I took a picture, just in case. She turned the phone toward me. It was a text thread. The contact name was just a single letter. M. The messages made me sick. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Wear that perfume I like. He's working late. We have time." I scrolled down, saw more. Worse. I handed the phone back to her. My hands were numb. "There's something else," Lily said quietly. I looked at her. She swiped to her photos. "Show me another image." It was Emma, standing outside a hotel. The same black dress from the restaurant. The same man from the photo I'd taken. His hand was on her lower back. She was smiling up at him. "I followed her one night," Lily said, her voice breaking. "I know I shouldn't have, but I had to know. I had to see if it was real." "When did you take this?" 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks. I stared at the photo, at my wife, at the man who wasn't me. "Dad, I'm so sorry." Lily was sobbing now. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to tell you, but she said it would ruin everything. She said you wouldn't understand. She made me promise. I pulled her into my arms, held her while she cried. But inside, I wasn't sad anymore. I was shaking with rage. My daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, had been carrying this weight for months, lying for her mother, watching her marriage crumble, and feeling like it was her job to hold it together. "It's not your fault," I said, my voice tight. "None of this is your fault. I should have told you sooner." "No, you were put in an impossible situation. Your mom did this, not you." She pulled back, wiping her eyes. "Are you going to leave her?" I didn't answer right away. On the couch across the room, my 3-year-old son was asleep, curled up with his stuffed dinosaur, his tiny chest rising and falling, completely unaware that his world was about to shatter. I looked at him, at his face, his dark hair, his small hands, and then a thought, dark and terrible, crept into my mind. If this had been going on for months, maybe longer, how long exactly? I turned back to Lily, kept my voice steady, controlled. "Sweetheart," I said quietly, "how long has this been going on? Do you know?" She hesitated, looked down at her hands. "Lily, I heard her on the phone once," she said, barely audible, talking to him. She said something about how they'd been doing this since before you and her moved into this house. My heart stopped. "We moved into this house 4 years ago. My son is 3. Since before he was born, Dad," Lily whispered. The room tilted. I looked at my son again, at his face. And for the first time, I let myself ask the question I've been too afraid to even think. Is he mine? After Lily went to bed, I locked myself in the small home office we never use, the one Emma calls the junk room. I pulled up our joint bank account on my laptop, started scrolling. Hotel charges. 3 different locations over the past 6 months. All mid-tier places. The kind you book when you don't want to be noticed but still want clean sheets. Dinners at restaurants I'd never heard of. 50, 80, $100 at a time. A char for flowers. Not from the florist I use. Different shop across town. I opened a spreadsheet. Started tracking dates. Amounts. Locations. The pattern was clear. Every 2 weeks, like clockwork. Sometimes more. My hands were steady. My mind was clear. I wasn't sad anymore. I was hunting. At 2 a.m., I went outside. Her car was in the driveway. She'd come home around 11. I heard her footsteps upstairs. Heard the bedroom door close. She didn't come looking for me. I opened the driver's side door. Checked the center console. Nothing. Checked under the seats. Nothing. Then I opened the glove box. There it was. A second phone. Cheap Android. The kind you buy at a gas station with cash. I tried to unlock it. Passcode protected. I took a photo of it with my phone. Serial number. Everything. Then I put it back exactly where I found it. The next morning, I called in sick to work. Waited until Emma left to run errands. Then I made a call. The lawyer's name was David Hernandez. A guy I'd met at a networking event 2 years ago. We'd exchanged cards. I still had his number. David, it's Tom Barrett. We met at the chamber event a while back. Tom, yeah, I remember. What can I do for you? I told him everything. The restaurant, the text, the hotel photo, the timeline. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a moment. Okay, he said. First thing, don't confront her yet. Not fully. You need documentation. Photos, statements, financial records, everything you can get. I have some of that already. Good. Keep gathering. Second thing, and I hate to say this, but given the timeline you mentioned, you might want to consider paternity testing for both kids. My stomach dropped. You think. I think you need peace of mind. One way or the other. I sat there, staring at the wall. How do I do that without her knowing? Order a kit online. Overnight shipping. Collect samples while they're asleep. Mail it in. Results come back in 3 to 5 days. And if she finds out, she won't. Not if you're careful. I thanked him. Hung up. Opened my laptop. Searched for DNA testing kits. Found a reputable lab. Ordered 2 kits. Paid extra for overnight delivery. They'd arrive tomorrow. That afternoon, Emma came home. I was in the kitchen making lunch for my son. She walked in, dropped her purse, and stood there like she was waiting for me to say something. I didn't. Tom. I kept spreading peanut butter on bread. Tom, please. We need to talk. I put the knife down. Turned to face her. Okay, talk. She hesitated. Looked at our son playing with blocks in the corner. Not here. Not in front of him. Then where? I don't know. Somewhere private. I stared at her. You had plenty of private time at Marcello's. At the hotels. At whatever other places you've been sneaking off to. Her face went pale. How do you? I know more than you think, Emma. She took a step toward me. It's not what it looks like. Then what is it? She stopped, bit her lip. It's complicated. Complicated. I repeated. That's your answer? I need time to explain. You've had months to explain. Years, apparently. Her eyes filled with tears. Please, just give me a chance. I turned back to the sandwich, cut it into triangles, put it on a plate for my son. I want the truth, I said quietly. All of it, not excuses, not it's complicated. The truth. I will. I promise. When? Tonight, after the kids go to bed. I nodded. Fine. Tonight. She left the room. I heard her footsteps on the stairs. Heard the bedroom door close. The DNA kits arrived the next morning. I intercepted the package before anyone else saw it. That night, after Emma fell asleep, I went into Lily's room first. She was out cold. Headphones still in. I used a cheek swab. Quick. Gentle. She didn't wake up. Then I went into my son's room. He was curled up with his dinosaur, breathing softly. Peaceful. I knelt beside his bed, held the swab. My hand was shaking. I looked at his face. at his little nose, his dark hair, his long eyelashes. I couldn't tell. I wanted to see myself in him, wanted to see proof. But I couldn't. I collected the sample, sealed it, labeled it. Then I sat on the floor next to his bed for a long time. The next morning, I mailed both kits, sent them priority, paid extra for faster results. When I got home, Emma was waiting in the kitchen. "We need to talk," she said. "Now." I poured myself coffee. "Okay." She took a breath. "I know you're angry. You have every right to be. But you don't understand the full picture. Then help me understand. It's not black and white. Who is he, Emma?" She hesitated. "Who is he? His name is Marcus." "And who is Marcus?" "Someone I knew in college, before you and I met." "And you reconnected?" "Yes." "When?" She looked down. "For years ago." "For years." I set my coffee down. "Before we moved into this house." She nodded. "Before our son was born." She went silent. I looked at her, at the woman I'd loved for 10 years, the woman I'd built a life with, and I didn't recognize her anymore. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "You don't understand." I said, "Then help me understand. Who is he?" She went silent. I turned and walked out of the room. Behind me, I heard her break, but I didn't look back. I sat her down at the dining table, put the photo in front of her, and said, "No more lies." It was Saturday morning. The kids were at my sister's house. I dropped them off an hour ago, told her I needed time to handle something. She didn't ask questions. Emma stared at the photo, the one from the restaurant, her and Marcus, holding hands across the table. "Where did you get this?" "I was there," I said. "Our anniversary. I came to surprise you." Her face crumbled. "Tom." "No more lies, Emma. I need the truth. All of it. Starting now." She pressed her fingers to her temples, took a shaky breath. "He's an old friend. From college. We were close back then." "How close?" "We dated for a few months. It didn't work out. We went our separate ways." I crossed my arms. "And when did you reconnect?" "A year ago. Maybe a little more. There was a work conference. He was there. We ran into each other. And we caught up. That's it. Just coffee. Just talking." I leaned forward. "Just talking. For a year." "Yes." I slid my phone across the table, opened to the bank statements, then explained these. She looked at the screen. Her jaw tightened. Hotel charges. Restaurants. Flowers. Every 2 weeks like clockwork. My voice was cold. "Steady. Still just talking?" She closed her eyes. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is." "We had dinner a few times. That's all. We're friends." "Friends." I repeated. "You lied to me. You lied to our daughter. You made her cover for you. For a friend." Emma's hand started shaking. "I didn't mean for it to go this far." "How far did it go?" "It was just dinners. Just conversation. I swear." I pulled out my phone again, showed her the photo Lily had taken. Emma outside the hotel, Marcus's hand on her back, her breath caught. "Still just dinners?" I asked. She stared at the photo, silent. "Emma." "It was a mistake," she whispered. "What was?" "That night. That one night." My chest tightened. "You slept with him?" She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "When?" 3 weeks ago." 3 weeks. While I was at home. While our kids were asleep upstairs. "You said it was one night." I said, my voice hard. "Was it?" She didn't answer. "Was it one night, Emma?" "I don't know. Maybe more. I don't remember all of them." I stood up, walked to the window, tried to breathe. "Behind me," she was sobbing. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. I love you. I love our family." I turned around. "How long has this been going on?" "I told you. A year." "No. I mean with him. Marcus. How long have you been seeing him?" She wiped her eyes. "A year. That's the truth." Lily said she heard you on the phone. She said you told him this had been going on since before we moved into this house. Emma went pale. That was 4 years ago, Emma. No, that's not. 4 years ago. Our son is 3. She froze. I walked back to the table, sat down, looked her in the eyes. I need to ask you something, and I need the truth. She was shaking. Is our son mine? She didn't answer. Emma, is he mine? I don't know. You don't know? It was complicated back then. We were fighting. You were working all the time. I felt alone. So you slept with him. It was one time. 4 years ago. I swear, just once. And then you got pregnant. She nodded. And you never told me. I thought he was yours. I hope he was. I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. You hoped? I didn't know for sure. The timing. It could have been either of you. I stood up. My hands were shaking. My vision was blurring. You've known for 3 years that our son might not be mine, and you never said anything. I was scared. I didn't want to lose you. I didn't want to lose our family. You already lost it. She reached for me. Please, we can fix this. We can get through this. I stepped back. Answer me. Right now. Is our son mine? She looked at me, tears pouring down her face. I don't know, she whispered. The room went silent. I stared at her, at the woman I'd built a life with, the woman I'd trusted, the woman I'd loved, and I realized I didn't know her at all. Get out, I said quietly. What? Get out of this house. Now. Tom, please. I need you to leave. Right now. Before I say something I can't take back. She stood up, grabbed her purse. Where am I supposed to go? I don't care. Go to Marcus. Go to a hotel. I don't care. Just get out. She walked to the door, stopped, turned back. I love you, she said. I didn't respond. She left. I sat at the dining table for a long time, staring at the photo, at her face, at the man who might be my son's father. My phone was on the table. I picked it up, opened my email. Subject line, DNA test results processing. Estimated delivery, 48 hours. I set the phone down. And for the first time since this all started, I let myself break. 2 days later, my best friend since college called me. He said we needed to talk. I was sitting in my car outside the grocery store when my phone rang. Jason's name lit up the screen. We'd known each other for 15 years. Roommates in college. Best man at my wedding. Godfather to Lily. I almost didn't answer. Hey, I said. Tom, you got a minute? His voice sounded off. Strained. Yeah. What's up? Not over the phone. Can you meet me somewhere? I checked the time. When? Now, if you can. Something in his tone made my stomach drop. Where? Murphy's. The bar on 5th. I'll be there in 20. He hung up. Murphy's was nearly empty. Monday afternoon. A few regulars at the bar nursing beers. Jason was in a booth in the back corner. He looked terrible. Unshaven. Dark circles under his eyes. He was staring at his phone when I walked up. Hey, I said, sliding into the seat across from him. He looked up, tried to smile. Failed. Thanks for coming. What's going on? He set his phone down, rubbed his face with both hands. I heard about you and Emma. I stiffened. Who told you? She did. Called me yesterday. Said you kicked her out. And I need to tell you something. Something I should have told you a long time ago. My jaw tightened. What? He couldn't look at me. Kept staring at the table. Jason. I slept with her. The words hung in the air. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. What? Emma. I slept with Emma. I felt like I had been hit by a truck. When? 3 years ago. Maybe a little more. 3 years. The same timeline Emma had given me. You're lying. I'm not. I swear I'm not. I stood up. He grabbed my arm. Wait. Please. Just let me explain. I yanked my arm away. Sat back down. My hands were shaking. Explain. He took a breath. You guys were going through a rough patch. You remember, you were working crazy hours. She was home alone with Lily all the time. You were fighting. So that gave you permission? No. God, no. I'm not making excuses. I'm telling you how it happened. How did it happen? She called me one night. Said she needed someone to talk to. You were out of town for work. I went over. We had a few drinks. And what? And it happened one time, one night. I leaned back, stared at the ceiling, tried to process. My best friend, my wife. Did you know about Marcus? I asked, who? The guy she's been seeing. Marcus. Jason's face went white. No, I swear I didn't know. I thought it was just that one night. A mistake. I didn't know she was cheating on me with someone else too. He flinched. I leaned forward. When exactly did this happen? What month? I don't know. Late summer. August, maybe 3 years ago. August. My son was born in April. I did the math in my head. 9 months before April. July. August. Are you saying my son could be yours? Jason went silent. Answer me. I don't know, he whispered. But yeah, maybe. I felt the room spin. You've known this for 3 years and you never said anything? I didn't know she was pregnant until after he was born. And by then, he stopped. I didn't know what to do. I hoped he was yours. Hoped. I'm sorry, man. I've been living with it ever since. Every time I see him. Every time you send me pictures. I stood up. Tom, wait. I didn't wait. I walked out of the bar. Got in my car. Sat there. My best friend. The person I trusted most in the world outside of my family. He'd slept with my wife. And my son, the little boy I'd held in the hospital, the one I'd stayed up with through sleepless nights, the one I'd taught to walk, to talk, to laugh, might not even be mine. I pulled out my phone, opened my email. DNA test results processing. 12 hours remaining. I sat in that parking lot for 30 minutes, staring at nothing, feeling nothing. Then my phone buzzed. A text from Jason. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't mean anything, but I am. If there's anything I can do. I blocked his number. Then I started the car and drove home. When I walked in, Lily was on the couch doing homework. My son was playing with blocks on the floor. Hey, Dad, Lily said. Where's Mom? Staying somewhere else for a bit. Is she coming back? I looked at my son, at his little hands stacking blocks, at his face, Jason's face, or Marcus's, or mine. I didn't know anymore. I don't know, sweetheart. Lily went back to her homework. I sat down on the couch. My son climbed into my lap, held up a block. Truck, he said. Yeah, buddy, that's a truck. He smiled, went back to playing. I held him, felt his weight against my chest. And I realized something. I didn't know who to trust anymore. Not my wife, not my best friend, maybe not even myself. The next day, the email arrived at 6:42 a.m. subject line. Paternity test results confidential. I was already awake. I hadn't slept. I'd been sitting at the kitchen table for 2 hours, drinking coffee, staring at my phone, waiting. When the notification popped up, my heart stopped. I opened the email. 2 attachments, 2 PDF files. Subject A, female, age 14. Subject B, male, age 3. I clicked the first file. The page loaded. Columns of numbers. Scientific terminology I barely understood. Then, at the bottom, in bold, probability of paternity, 99.9%. Lily was mine. I exhaled, closed my eyes, felt something in my chest unclench. At least I still had her. Then I opened the second file. My hand was shaking so badly, I almost dropped the phone. The page loaded. More numbers, more terminology. And then, at the bottom, probability of paternity, 0%. Excluded as biological father. I stared at those words. Read them again and again. Excluded as biological father. My son wasn't mine. I set the phone down, stood up, walked to the sink, gripped the edge of the counter. 3 years. 3 years of diapers and sleepless nights and first words and first steps. 3 years of being his father. And he wasn't mine. I don't know how long I stood there. Could have been 5 minutes. Could have been 20. Eventually, I went back to the table, picked up my phone, forwarded both files to the printer in my office, watched the pages slide out. One by one, I took them, folded them, put them in my pocket. Then I sat down and waited for Emma to wake up. She came downstairs at 7:30, hair pulled back, sweatshirt and jeans. She looked like she hadn't slept either. She saw me at the table and froze. "Tom." I didn't answer. She walked over slowly, sat down across from me. "Can we talk?" I pulled the folded papers out of my pocket, set them on the table between us. "What's that?" "Open it." She unfolded the pages, started reading. I watched her face, watched the exact moment she understood what she was looking at. Her hands started shaking. Her breath caught. "Tom." "Lily's mine," I said quietly, in case you were wondering. She nodded. Tears were already streaming down her face. "And our son." She looked at the second page, at the words in bold. "Excluded as biological father." She covered her mouth with her hand, sobbed. I sat there, watching her, feeling nothing. "You told me it was one time," I said. "With Jason. One night." She was shaking her head. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "How many times?" "I don't know. A few. Maybe more. It was a mistake. All of it." "A mistake," I repeated. "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know for sure. I hoped." "You hoped he was mine." She nodded. "But you knew he might not be." "Yes." "And you never told me." "I was scared. I didn't want to lose you. I didn't want to lose our family." I leaned back in my chair, stared at her. "You lost at the moment you slept with him. You just didn't tell me." She reached across the table. "Please, we can fix this. We can go to counseling. We can work through this." I pulled my hand away. "There's nothing to work through." "Yes, there is. We have a family. We have kids. We can't just throw that away." "You already did." She stood up, walked around the table, knelt beside my chair. "Tom, please. I love you. I made a mistake. I made a lot of mistakes. But I love you, and I love our kids. We can get through this." I looked down at her, at the woman I'd spent 10 years with, and I felt nothing. "Pack your bags," I said. "What?" "Pack your bags. And leave." "Tom, I want you out of this house by noon." "Where am I supposed to go?" "I don't care. Go to your parents. Go to a hotel. Go to Marcus. Go to Jason. I don't care. Just leave." She grabbed my arm. "Please, don't do this. Think about the kids." "I am thinking about the kids. That's why I want you gone. You can't just kick me out. This is my house, too." "I called my lawyer yesterday. He's filing for emergency custody. You tried to take the kids and run once already. He doesn't think you'll have a problem getting a judge to side with me." Her face went white. "You can't take my kids from me. Watch me." She stood up, backed away. "You're not thinking clearly. You're angry. I get it, but you can't. I have proof of your affair. Multiple affairs. I have bank statements, text messages, photos, and now I have DNA evidence that you lied to me for 3 years about my son's paternity. He's still your son." "No, he's not." The words came out cold, hard. She flinched like I'd hit her. "You don't mean that." "Pack your bag." She stared at me, then turned and walked upstairs. I sat at the table, listened to her moving around above me, opening drawers, closing them. 20 minutes later, she came back down with a duffel bag. She stopped at the bottom of the stairs. "What about the kids? When can I see them?" "My lawyer will be in touch." "Tom." "Leave, Emma." She walked to the door, stopped, turned back. "I know you hate me right now, and you should. But I need you to know I do love you. I always have. I didn't respond. She grabbed my arm. One last time. Please, we can fix this. I looked her in the eyes. There's nothing left to fix. Then I pulled out my phone and called my lawyer. She stood there for another moment, waiting for me to change my mind. I didn't. She left. I heard her car start, heard her pull out of the driveway. Then silence. I sat at the table with the DNA results in front of me, stared at the words. Excluded as biological father. Upstairs, I heard my son wake up. Heard him calling for me. Daddy. I closed my eyes, took a breath. Then I stood up and went to him. She tried to take the kids and disappear. I stopped her at the airport. It was 3 days after she left. 3 days of lawyers and paperwork and phone calls. 3 days of explaining to Lily why Mom wasn't coming home. 3 days of my son asking where Mommy went. I was at work when my phone buzzed. Text from Lily. Dad, call me now. I stepped out of the meeting. Called her back. She answered on the first ring. Her voice was frantic. Dad, Mom picked us up from school. She said we're going on a trip to Grandma's. My blood went cold. Where are you? In her car, heading toward the highway. She has suitcases in the trunk. Dad, I don't think this is just a visit. Put her on the phone. She won't talk to you. She took my phone. I'm using the bathroom at a gas station right now. Listen to me. Do not get back in that car. Stay in the bathroom. Lock the door. I'm calling the police. Dad, I'm scared. I know, sweetheart, but I need you to be brave. Stay there. I'm coming. I hung up, called my lawyer. He answered immediately. Tom, she's got the kids. She's trying to leave the state. Where? I don't know. Airport, maybe. Her parents live in Arizona. I'll file an emergency injunction right now. Give me 10 minutes. I don't have 10 minutes. Then call the police. Tell them she's violating a custody agreement. We don't have a custody agreement yet. Doesn't matter. Tell them she's attempting to flee with the children. That'll get their attention. I hung up, called 911, gave them Lily's location, gave them Emma's license plate, told them my wife was attempting to leave the state with my children without consent. The dispatcher asked if there was a custody order. One's being filed right now. Emergency injunction. Sir, without a custody order. She's taking my kids out of state against my will. That's parental kidnapping. There was a pause. We'll send an officer to the location. I got in my car. Started driving. 20 minutes later, my lawyer called back. Injunctions filed. Judge signed off. I'm sending it to airport security now. How did you know she's going to the airport? I didn't. But if she's leaving the state, that's the fastest way. And her parents are in Phoenix. There's a flight leaving in 40 minutes. I pressed harder on the gas. My phone rang again. Lily, Dad, the police are here. They're talking to Mom. She's yelling at them. Where are you? Still at the gas station. Is your brother with you? No. He's in the car with Mom. My chest tightened. Stay where you are. I'm 10 minutes away. I made it in 7. The gas station was chaos. 2 police cars. Emma's car parked near the pumps. An officer talking to Emma. Another officer standing with my son. I parked, ran over. Lily saw me and ran. I caught her, held her. You're okay. You're safe. I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't know what else to do. You did exactly right. I walked over to the officer, holding my son's hand. He saw me and reached up. Daddy. I picked him up. He wrapped his arms around my neck. Emma was 20 feet away, screaming at the other officer. This is insane. I'm their mother. I'm allowed to take them to see their grandparents. The officer held up a hand. Ma'am, there's an emergency custody injunction. You're not permitted to leave the state with these children. That's illegal. He can't just file an injunction. The judge signed it. It's valid. I walked over. Emma saw me, her face twisted with rage. You did this. You tried to run. I said quietly. What did you think would happen? I wasn't running. I was visiting my parents with suitcases without telling me after I kicked you out. The officer stepped between us. Sir, are you the father? Yes. Do you have identification? I showed him my license. He checked it against the paperwork. All right, kids are released to your custody. Ma'am, you're free to go, but you are not to leave the state. There's a court hearing scheduled in 48 hours. You'll receive notification. Emma's face went pale. You can't take my kids from me. I'm not taking them, I said. I'm keeping them safe. From what? From you. She lunged toward me. The officer grabbed her arm. Ma'am, you need to calm down. Let go of me. If you don't calm down, I'll have to detain you. She stopped, breathing hard, staring at me with pure hatred. This isn't over, she said. Yes, it is. I turned and walked back to my car. Lily was already in the passenger seat. I buckled my son into his car seat. As I drove away, I saw Emma in the rearview mirror, standing alone by her car, watching us leave. The court hearing was 2 days later. My lawyer presented everything. The affair, the paternity results, the attempted flight. Emma's lawyer argued she was just visiting family, that I was being vindictive. The judge asked Emma directly, Did you inform the father you were taking the children out of state? No, but did you have return tickets? Emma hesitated. Not yet. I was going to book them once we got there. How long were you planning to stay? I don't know. A week, maybe 2. The judge looked at her over his glasses, with no return date, no communication with the father, and suitcases packed for an extended stay. I just needed time away. To think. You needed time away from your children's father while taking said children across state lines without his knowledge or consent. Emma didn't answer. The judge looked at the paperwork in front of him, at the DNA results, at the evidence of the affairs. Temporary primary custody granted to the father. Mother is granted supervised visitation every other weekend. Both parties are ordered to family counseling. We'll reconvene in 60 days for a full custody hearing. The gavel came down. Emma's face crumpled. She turned to her lawyer. He can't do this. He just did. I walked out of the courthouse with my lawyer. Lily was waiting with my sister in the lobby. My son was with her too, playing with a toy car. Lily stood up when she saw me. What happened? You're staying with me. She hugged me, held on tight. My son ran over. Daddy, up. I picked him up, looked at his face, at his eyes, his smile. He wasn't mine, not biologically, but he was still my son. As I drove home with my daughter beside me and my son asleep in the back, Lily squeezed my hand. Thank you, Dad, she whispered. I looked at her, at this incredible kid who'd been forced to grow up too fast, who'd been caught in the middle, who'd had to choose. And I realized something. I wasn't just fighting for custody. I was fighting for them, for their stability, their safety, their future. Emma had already taken so much. She wasn't taking them too. The full custody hearing was 2 months after the airport incident. 2 months of supervised visitations. 2 months of Emma showing up every other weekend with a court-appointed supervisor. 2 months of my kids adjusting to a new normal. 2 months of me learning how to be both parents at once. The courtroom was cold. Fluorescent lights. Hard wooden benches. Emma sat at the table with her lawyer. I sat at mine. She looked different. Thinner. Hair shorter. She didn't look at me when I walked in. The judge entered. We stood. Sat back down. We're here for final custody determination, the judge said. I've reviewed the temporary orders and all submitted evidence. Let's begin. My lawyer stood, walked to the front. Your Honor, we're requesting primary physical and legal custody of both minor children. We have substantial evidence showing the mother engaged in multiple extramarital affairs, attempted to flee the state with the children, and concealed paternity information for over 3 years. He presented everything. The DNA results, the bank statements, the photos, the text messages Lily had saved. Then he called Lily to the stand. She walked up slowly, too slowly. She looked so small up there. The bailiff swore her in. My lawyer kept his voice gentle. Lily, can you tell the court what you told your father 2 months ago? She nodded. My mom was seeing someone. She made me lie about it. For how long? Months. Maybe a year. She said if I told Dad, it would break up our family. And how did that make you feel? Lily's voice cracked. Scared. Like it was my fault. Did your mother ever discuss leaving with you and your brother? Yes. She said we might go stay with Grandma for a while. That Dad didn't need to know. Emma's lawyer objected. The judge overruled. Thank you, Lily. You can step down. She walked back, sat next to my sister in the gallery. Wouldn't look at her mother. Emma's lawyer stood, argued for joint custody. Your Honor, my client made mistakes. She acknowledges that. But she's taken steps to address her behavior. She's in therapy. She's committed to co-parenting. These children need their mother. The judge looked at Emma. Do you have anything to say? Emma stood. I love my children. I made terrible choices. I hurt people I care about. But I'm working on myself. I'm getting help. I just want a chance to be their mother again. Her voice broke on the last word. The judge nodded. Sit down. Then Emma's lawyer called his witness. We'd like to call Jason Mercer to the stand. My stomach dropped. Jason walked in from the hallway. He looked worse than he had at the bar, like he hadn't slept in weeks. He was sworn in. Emma's lawyer approached. Mr. Mercer, what is your relationship to the defendant? I was her friend and his. He glanced at me. We went to college together. And do you have any other connection to this case? Jason's jaw tightened. Yes. Please explain. I had a relationship with Emma 3 years ago, while she was married. And are you aware of the paternity test results submitted as evidence? Yes. Mr. Mercer, are you the biological father of the minor child in question? The courtroom went silent. Jason looked at the judge, then at me, then at Emma. Yes. Emma's lawyer nodded. Your Honor, we believe this complicates the custody arrangement. The biological father has rights that should be considered. My lawyer shot up. Your Honor, Mr. Mercer has had zero involvement in this child's life. He's never sought custody, never paid support, never even acknowledged paternity until today. The judge held up a hand. I'll decide what's relevant. Mr. Mercer, do you intend to seek custody or visitation? Jason was quiet for a long moment. No, Your Honor. Emma's face went white. No, the judge repeated. I gave up that right when I slept with my best friend's wife. That boy has a father. It's not me. He stepped down, walked out without looking at anyone. The judge reviewed his notes, flipped through the files. I've seen a lot of cases, he said finally, but this one is particularly troubling. He looked at Emma. You engaged in multiple affairs. You concealed paternity information. You attempted to flee the jurisdiction with minor children. And you put your 14-year-old daughter in a position where she felt responsible for holding your marriage together. Emma was crying. However, the judge continued, I also recognize that children benefit from relationships with both parents when possible. He looked at me. Mr. Barrett, you've demonstrated stability, responsibility, and a commitment to these children's well-being. You've maintained their routines, kept them in therapy, and prioritized their emotional health. He closed the file. Primary physical and legal custody of both minor children is awarded to the father. Emma sobbed. The mother is granted supervised visitation every other weekend, with the possibility of transitioning to unsupervised visitation after 6 months, pending completion of court-ordered therapy and demonstration stability. The gavel came down. It was over. Emma's lawyer helped her stand. She was shaking, couldn't stop crying. She looked at me across the courtroom. I felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, no revenge, just relief. My lawyer shook my hand. Congratulations. Thank you. I walked out into the hallway. Lily was waiting with my sister. My son was there too, sitting on the bench with a coloring book. He saw me and jumped up. Daddy. I picked him up. Lily walked over slowly. What happened? You're staying with me. Both of you. She exhaled. like she'd been holding her breath for 2 months. "Does this mean we're safe now?" she whispered. I looked at her, at this brave, scared, incredible kid who'd been forced to grow up too fast. "Yeah, sweetheart," I said. "We're safe." She hugged me, held on tight. As we walked toward the exit, Emma came out of the courtroom. She saw us, stopped for a moment. We just looked at each other. She opened her mouth, closed it. There was nothing left to say. She turned and walked the other direction. My son waved at her. "Bye, Mommy." She didn't turn around. We walked out into the sunlight. The air was crisp, clean. It felt like the first real breath I'd taken in months. "Where are we going now?" Lily asked. "Home," I said, and for the first time in a long time, that word meant something. 6 months later, I'm sitting on the couch watching my kids laugh at a movie, and I realized something. We're going to be okay. It wasn't an easy 6 months. There were nights Lily cried herself to sleep. Nights my son woke up asking for his mother. Nights I sat alone in the dark, wondering if I'd made the right choices. But slowly, painfully slowly, we found our rhythm. Breakfast at 7. School drop-off at 8. Work. Pick up at 3. Homework. Dinner. Bedtime stories. Repeat. Simple. Stable. Safe. Lily started therapy. Once a week, a woman named Dr. Carson, who specialized in families dealing with divorce and trauma. At first, Lily didn't want to go. Said she was fine. Said she didn't need to talk about it. But after the 3rd session, something shifted. She came home lighter. Started smiling more. Started talking about things that weren't just surface level. One night, she told me she'd been carrying guilt for months. That she felt like she should have told me sooner. That maybe if she had, things wouldn't have fallen apart. I sat her down, looked her in the eyes. "None of this is your fault. Not one bit. You were a kid caught in an impossible situation. You did nothing wrong." She nodded, but I could tell she didn't fully believe it yet. She would, eventually. My son turned 4 in March. We threw a small party. Just family. My sister, her kids, a couple of his friends from preschool. Emma wasn't there. She'd asked if she could come. I said no. He asked about her once while we were setting up decorations. "Is Mommy coming?" "Not today, buddy." "Why?" "Because today's just for us." He thought about it, then shrugged, and went back to play with his new truck. He still called me Dad. Still ran to me when he was scared. Still climbed into my lap when he wanted to be held. The DNA results didn't change that. Biology didn't change that. He was my son. That was all that mattered. Emma and I had minimal contact. Exchanges happened at a neutral location, a parking lot halfway between her apartment and our house. The first few times, she tried to talk, tried to explain, tried to apologize. I didn't engage. After a while, she stopped trying. The exchanges became mechanical, cold. She'd say hi to the kids. I'd say when I'd pick them up. That was it. Lily was polite but distant. My son was always excited to see her at first, but by the end of the weekend, he was ready to come home. Emma noticed. I could see it in her face. The way her smile faltered when he didn't hug her goodbye. The way her eyes followed him as I buckled him into the car seat. She'd lost them. Not legally. She still had visitation. But emotionally, they'd already moved on. 3 months after the hearing, I got an email from Jason. Subject line, "I'm sorry." I stared at it for a long time, finger hovering over the delete button. Finally, I opened it. "Tom, I know you don't want to hear from me. I wouldn't either. But I need to say this. I'm sorry for everything. For betraying you. For lying. For being a coward. You deserve better. Your kids deserve better. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry. Jason." I read it twice. Then I hit delete. Some apologies don't deserve a response. One night, my son came into the living room while I was folding laundry. He climbed onto the couch next to me. "Daddy?" "Yeah, buddy? Are you my real dad?" I froze, folded shirt halfway in my hands. He was looking up at me with those big brown eyes. Waiting. I set the shirt down, turned to face him. Why are you asking? I heard Mommy talking on the phone. She said something about Jason being my real dad. My chest tightened. I knelt down in front of him, held his hands. Listen to me. I'm your dad. I've always been your dad. I was there when you were born. I've been there every day since. I'm the one who taught you to walk, to talk, to tie your shoes. But Jason might be the person who helped make you, but that doesn't make him your dad. Being a dad isn't about biology. It's about showing up. It's about being there when you're scared or hurt or happy. It's about choosing to love you every single day. He looked at me, processing. So you chose me? Every single day. I said, and I'll keep choosing you for the rest of my life. He smiled, hugged me. I choose you too, Daddy. And just like that, the question was answered. A few weeks later, Emma's supervised visitation was upgraded. She could have the kids overnight now, every other weekend. Lily was nervous about it, asked if she had to go. It's up to you, I told her. If you're not ready, I'll tell the court. She thought about it, then said she'd try, for her brother, so he wouldn't have to go alone. The first overnight was hard. I dropped him off at Emma's apartment Friday evening. My son was excited. Lily looked like she was walking into a dentist's office. Emma met us at the door, tried to smile. Hey guys, I'm so glad you're here. Lily gave her a stiff hug. My son ran inside. Emma looked at me. I'll take good care of them. I know. I left, drove home, sat in an empty house for the first time in 6 months. It was too quiet. I cleaned, did laundry, watched TV, couldn't focus. Finally, around 10, my phone buzzed. Text from Lily. We're okay. Love you, Dad. I exhaled, texted back. Love you too, sweetheart. That night, I went through my phone, deleting old photos, old messages, things I didn't need to carry anymore. I found the restaurant photo, the one I'd taken that first night. Emma and Marcus, holding hands. I stared at it for a long time. That photo had been the beginning, the proof, the thing that set everything in motion. I thought about keeping it, just in case, just as a reminder of what she'd done. But then I realized I didn't need reminders. I knew what happened. I lived it, survived it, and I didn't want to carry it anymore. I deleted the photo. Then I deleted the texts, the bank statements I'd saved, the screenshots, all of it, gone. When I picked the kids up Sunday evening, Emma walked them out. They were great, she said. We had fun. Good. Lily got in the car. My son hugged him goodbye. See you soon, buddy, she said. As we drove away, Lily was quiet. You okay? I asked. Yeah, she said. It was fine. Not great, but fine. That's a start. She nodded, looked out the window. Dad? Yeah. Do you think things will ever feel normal again? I thought about it. I think we'll find a new normal. It won't be the same, but it'll be ours. She smiled, just a little. I like that. That night, after both kids were asleep, I sat on the couch with a beer, stared at the ceiling. I thought about the man I'd been a year ago, the one who walked into a restaurant to surprise his wife, the one who still believed in fairy tales. That man was gone. In his place was someone harder, wiser, more careful, but also stronger. I didn't know what the future held. Maybe I'd date again someday. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe Emma would get her act together and become a better mother. Maybe she wouldn't. But I knew one thing for certain. I wasn't the man I was a year ago. I was stronger. I was wiser. And I was exactly the father my kids needed me to be. I finished my beer, set the bottle down, turned off the lights, and went to bed. Tomorrow was a new day, and we were going to be okay.